Make no mistakes. No retakes.
Okay.
No re-edits.
Okie doke.
Okay.
Okay.
What about me, camera?
Hi, hey, yeah, she's just drinking some water too. I guess I was the only one that got thirsty on the scone.
Well, I was gonna say I just don't want to have bread in my teeth.
Do I have any?
I'll let them tell you. You can zoom in. You let us know if we have bread in our teeth.
All right, so welcome back to our podcast, the Moms in Real Estate. I'm Marissa, and this is Gloria.
That's still me, yeah.
And we are just so thankful to be back, and we are going to just talk about some things. And I haven't read the notes, so I don't know. All right, perfect.
And cut.
Okay.
I feel like, do I look like an old lady
Mr. Rogers?
today? Mrs. Rogers. Is that the first thing you thought about when you saw me in a sweater?
No, I thought that you looked cute. It looks spring attire. I like
Spring
it.
attire.
Because you've got on your cute little
black,
pants,
yeah.
and no, I think it's great. Anyways, I hope you guys like that. Okay, well, welcome back to our podcast. I'm Marissa, and this is Gloria, and we are working moms in real estate.
Still working moms in real estate.
Yep, we're still
neither of us has
doing it.
given up yet.
We have not won the lottery, unfortunately. We haven't died from hay fever, so I hate if any of you guys have. I'm so sorry about that, but really, allergies are on the rise.
They are.
So,
They are on the rise. Marissa.
So anyways, guys, today our special guest is actually going to be Gloria, and she's going to talk to us about real estate investing. So
I don't know what to do with my hands right now as a guest. Like
you
I
can
wanted
just
to
be
go
like,
like
hey,
this,
yes,
and then I went like this.
I would do this. Hey guys,
Do you take me seriously as an investor when I go like this?
how about this? We're getting off track. Gloria, talk to us about your real estate investing.
Yeah. Well, why don't we touch bases real quick on just the general aspect of real estate?
Okay.
So, as usual, we touch bases on a little bit of what's happening with the market. And I think the biggest thing right now are tax protests.
Yes.
So, tax protest season is between April 15th. Technically, it can start before and sometimes after the county mails out your tax assessment for your property. And it can be anywhere at the end of March to the end of April. Mm-hmm. But essentially, you have about 30 days to protest your taxes. What does that even mean, though? Right?
Well, and I do have a question. Because, I'm not from Texas. I've been here now long enough to know that, yes, this happens every year.
Every year.
However, is this something that's going on across the country, or is it just a Texas thing?
That's a good question. Some states don't have property taxes.
Mm-hmm.
So while it is going on across the United States, not all states are going to be working the same.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have state taxes. So with our state income tax anyway, we don't have state income tax. So we get taxed pretty heavily on our properties. And because of that, every year that we come up to tax protest season, it's a really, really important time to keep an eye out for that assessment, because if you're not looking for it, or if you don't get it, it doesn't matter. The county's still going to tax you. And the reality is that if you have a homestead, and what a homestead is saying that this is your primary residence, you can own 20 properties, but on your primary residence, you get an exemption as your primary residence. And it protects from multiple things like creditors, but it also protects you from the county itself. And what it does, it puts a cap on your property of 10% annual increase. So let's say your house is worth $300,000, and let's say the market went up a drastic amount, like kind of what we saw during COVID, and your house is now worth $400,000. Well, can you be taxed for that? If it is not your primary property, yes. Your property will show as increasing in value to $400,000, and now your taxes went up by 25%.
Yeah.
That's wild, right?
Well, and honestly, that is what happened to me. I mean,
Yeah.
I purchased at this price, and now they're trying to tax me at like $150,000 extra
Yeah.
in 5 years.
Yeah.
Is that normal?
So over the time of 5 years, yes, it is normal. I actually looked at your taxes, so no, it's not.
She
it's
is
not.
an expert, and I call her every year. I'm like, Glow, can you help me?
Yeah. I don't think you called me last year.
I did. You
Did I
helped
do
me.
it?
Yeah.
So it was that much of an increase this year. Okay, I do
went
so
and
many
I fought
of them.
him in person. You sent me everything you did.
Yes.
I went over there and fought him, and at the end, I won. I mean, I'm joking. I lost. I'm so sorry. I lost. I embarrassed myself at the tax place, but I was trying to fight with him because I also, being in this business, I know the plan that I have. We were still selling it, not even close to what they were trying to say. And I'm like, how are you justifying this? But they like dug their heels, like they wouldn't budge. It was
Next
I
you
was
need to
really
speak
angry.
to a supervisor, because technically, especially like you said, if your house is still selling for a price amount, your house can't be valued at a new house price because it's already depreciated in value due to the wear and tear. So the fact that they were trying to sell you a house that is more expensive where it should have depreciated some since the new one being built. Anyway, that's a long story short, but
It is, but can you come with me then on the 21st of May and we're going to fight him?
Yes, I will. But so for you guys, if you are in the process of this, so your home will continue to increase in value every year. So back to your original question, can it go up that much over the 5 years? Yes, it can. But if you have a homestead, let's say your house did go up to $400,000. If you have a homestead, the most that property could have gone up would have been $30,000 instead of $100,000 in taxable value. And that's because a homestead caps your amount that it will increase to 10% of the value of the home. Or even if it goes up, it would go up to maybe $40,000, because that is 10% of 400, which is what they would have claimed it was. If that's really confusing, I apologize. Give us a call. We're happy to help and answer those questions. But tax protest season is right now. So if your home went up by $100,000, what I can tell you is that 2024 was a really hard year. A lot of properties went underwater from the previous year. So really, most homes will not even appreciate for what they sold or right around what they sold, because homes depreciated rather than appreciated with the market. So again, if you have received a tax appraisal and it's a crazy amount, or even if it's increased by 50,000, 40, whatever, and you want someone to look at it, I can tell you, I do help people. You're gonna get companies that send you documents saying that you can pay them to do this. Yes, you can do that, but that's usually not necessary. Even if you don't get a hold of us, there's local realtors that are willing to help with that stuff because they see it as a service to their community, but also it puts them in contact with new people. It is a win-win for everyone. So if you are going through the tax protest, or you think your taxes went up in a substantial amount, reach out to a local realtor. You don't want to ask an appraiser. They'll charge you $500 to $700, and they probably wouldn't even do it anyway. But anyone that has access to the tools that a realtor does would be able to help you. All right, next topic.
Okay, so let's talk about like real estate investing.
Real estate investing. That's my favorite topic.
Yeah.
So I am a real estate investor, and pretty much what that just means is that I was able to take advantage of some really great deals that I ran into during the process of being in real estate. We get to see a lot of properties, guys, and we get to learn a lot of the things, the way that kind of the back end of real estate works. As you're thinking about becoming an investor, we always recommend that you have a couple people in your back pocket, a realtor, financial expert to tell you kind of what you can and can't invest, and a tax person, because they're the people that can really make your wheelhouse work. And I do have kind of all of those people for myself, but the way that I got into real estate is I started seeing investors who I started getting. But the more that you deal with people and there's different situations, you learn all the different ways that you can purchase and finance a house. Going through with all these investors, what I was able to see was the different ways that they were doing it.
Okay. So Gloria, what is the most common investing that you do?
So as a single, I know I mentioned that I just got married about a month ago or 2 months ago now. Time's going by super quick. But at the time, I was a single parent. And I really, even in real estate, I was barely making my way in real estate. So I had to find a really creative way to get into real estate. And the first way that I started getting into investing was house hacking. Have you ever heard that term?
No, I've never heard it. What is it?
So house hacking is actually when you buy one house and you make it your primary residence. So you have very small investment amount. So essentially, you know, you're paying 3% to live in a house. And then you can live there between 1 to 2 years. 2 years is supposed to be the minimum, unless you have a real reason to move. Okay,
Like
so
a PCS
like like a PCS.
job.
So if you guys don't know what that is, it's the permanent change of duty station for military. This is perfect for military, actually. So you live there for 1 to 2 years. You have to technically be there for 2 years, unless there's a real reason. So for me, the first house that I purchased, we went from a big house where it was my daughter and I, and we didn't really need that much space, so we got a smaller house. We were thinking the downsizing was a great idea. Turned out, as my real estate business grew, we outgrew that property, and a really good reason to buy another house. So I told the lender, you know, I am ready to purchase another property, and I said, what is the next step that I need to do, because I just bought a house about a year ago. She said, you just need to tell me an explanation of the reason why you're purchasing a house. Well, we had outgrown the house. One of the bedrooms was my office. The other one was full of staging stuff, and it was just my real estate business growing. So I simply wrote a letter that said, we are outgrowing the property, need a bigger one. So within a year, or within the second year, I was able to purchase another property.
So you still had the current one, now you've got your second property.
Exactly. And then
as almost a first-time home buyer, you're still
essentially,
able,
yeah.
so you're not quite an investor purchasing yet.
Yeah. And then
What are the perks to that?
so the biggest perks to that is that you don't have a 10 or a 20% down payment. As an investor, you always have to pay a 20% down payment. So if you're buying a $100,000 house, which is not very much and it need a lot of work, you'll be paying $40,000. So whatever money you had to make repairs, that would go into it. So going from paying, you know, 20% to 3%, that's a huge difference. I bought a $300,000 house with 3% down, under 10 grand, right? That's huge compared to if I was investing, I would have had to pay 60 grand. That is a big difference. Now, I did buy an investment that was a flip house, and a lot of investors love flip houses because you can fix it and you can do, you know, add a lot more value by actually making repairs, unless you don't have the people or the income or the power to do it. As a single mom, I didn't necessarily have a lot of income, and when I got into this property, I went into a lot of debt. And I still have the property and it's producing, but it's not a new build. You know, no matter what I do to it, it's never going to be the same as the house that I purchased as house hacking. And it was not ideal for me. So if you're a new investor and you want to get into purchasing properties, you either have to have a large amount of cash to put down as an investment, or think about what it would cost to do repairs, as opposed to moving into a house that is newer, living there for a year or two, and then doing it again. Like, that just makes sense, right? At least it makes sense to me, because I couldn't fix a broken toilet. I couldn't fix the roof. Every single repair that comes out was my own expense.
Yeah, and when you said you need to have a few good people in your pocket, one of the first things that I actually was thinking of was a repair guy. You know, like a contractor that you can reach out to, or several, because you would like to get bids. Hey, this broke, or maybe you do want to do a house flip, and so you're purchasing a $100,000 fixer-upper. Who am I going to call to get all these bids? You want to have all those people kind of ready. Do your research beforehand, because the last thing that anyone wants to do is buy a money pit that doesn't make you any money, and now you're out $100 grand or whatever. you want to be smart and get with professionals who are going to help you set you up for success, so that way you get 1, you get 2, 3, you know, you can continue to grow your investments.
Absolutely. And that's a really, really great point. I have some really great people that I work with regularly. I went through a handful of contractors, and let me tell you, not all contractors, not all plumbers, not everybody is made at the same level.
Yep.
And the ones that are really, really great are really, really expensive.
Yeah.
So when you find that middle ground where you can find somebody that's really great and it's also reasonable, like, you hold on to those people for dear life.
Forever.
Because you're gonna need them. I will say the one thing that I didn't realize getting into the investment game, even in the house hacking aspect, buying a house became really easy, especially if you have rents and stuff like that. The hardest lesson for me to learn during that process was how much responsibility all of them carried. You know, you're responsible for people, you're responsible for a property, you're responsible if anything goes wrong, you're responsible for the time you don't have tenants. You're just essentially responsible for so many aspects. And when you grow from 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, however many you have, every single one of them, it's like we have country music in the background.
I know, I thought, because I was like about to start doing air guitar, and you want to talk about me, you want to talk about I want to talk about me, and I was like, oh no,
we forgot to turn
up. Gloria, can you share with us about your Airbnbs?
Yeah, so those are our newest ventures. Should we? I think we should turn it down.
Literally, because this song is so nerdy that I was like, I didn't hear it till this song came on, and then I was like, oh no.
That's definitely staying in. That's hilarious.
Okay, we're back. So the reason I bring up your Airbnbs is because, if I'm being honest, when you first told me like the locations that you were doing, I thought, why would she do that? Like, how dumb. Literally, I thought that in my head, and I could have said it out loud, but then
she was very kind not to say it out loud.
This gal is extremely smart, and let's hear about how it's going.
You know, Airbnbs are our newest venture, and now this is a venture that I'm doing with my husband. And of course, just the fact that he is there to support me, to support our business, was a big deal, because I don't know that I've ever would have considered it going on my own. It's such a big upfront expense that you just, it's a really scary thing to do. And then we did 2. So not only did we do 1, we did 2. So our Airbnbs are actually doing really fantastic. The one in Temple in Central Texas, it's about 30 minutes away from the base. And even though there's not a lot of military people, there's family that comes in and out of town, and they don't necessarily want to be in Killeen or next to the military town, but they need to be close enough where they can visit and they can, you know, go back and forth. But also, it's next to the expo center. It's next to a lot of really new amenities, and I think that that's really what made it. So I'm gonna say this: it was really dumb luck. You're not wrong when it says it's like it was a crazy idea. And the reason that we actually did it was because we were getting married. We both have 2 houses full of furniture, and we were trying to figure out what to do with all this furniture, whether to rent them out with furniture, and that would cause its own issues because nobody wanted the furniture, or to get rid of it, sell it. It was just a big headache. So we said, I just had this crazy idea, and I said, what if I do an Airbnb on my house and just see how it does? So I got married, and I moved in with him for a short time. We weren't planning on buying another house, and we did the Airbnb, and it just started booking. We had planned this out about 2 months before, a month and a half before, and during that time while we were planning for the Airbnbs, it just started getting booked up and booked up and booked up, and we realized how much of a need there really was.
That's so amazing. And that's, you know, you literally left your home, like this is where she was living, left it with fully furnished, all of the things that you need for an Airbnb. That's what also I feel like is so brilliant, is that you didn't even have to start from scratch. I really,
that's the most expensive part.
Apologize for calling you not smart lady.
In your head.
I was like, we were on the phone and I was like, an Airbnb in Temple, Texas. Why? Because when you think of an Airbnb, at least when I do, it's like a vacation spot or, you know, like, but little did I know. And then also you help out. Like, so say if somebody is purchasing a home and maybe they're PCS military, they come on June 4th, but their house isn't finished or they're not closing till June 30th, they also have an option. I can rent an Airbnb for 3 weeks. A lot of these families have big families. They have pets.
Right.
Where are they going to go for 3 weeks? If the base is full, whatever. It's really was brilliant. And I'm grateful that I know how smart you are.
Thanks, friend. Well, it is funny though. We have the one in Georgetown and it was very slow, and all of a sudden this week it just booked up like 2 months out, you know, so it's just interesting the way that it works. We're in a learning process. I would hardly say that I'm an expert at the Airbnb. We have 3 long-term rentals that do well, you know, and I love our attendants. We've been very blessed. So I could teach you and show you all about long-term rentals, but right now the Airbnb is still a learning process. I think it was just luck based on the location where my house was. To be fair, I did choose a location that I wanted to be in, you know, so I thought it was a great location for us, and I think that that's what made the difference of people wanting to be there. But with all that said, if you guys ever want to learn about investing, feel free to reach out. Because again, we've been in this for a long time and there's so many ways to do investing. Those are just 2 ways that I have explored, but I mean, there's creative financing. I learned all. Creative financing is exciting. I've done it. I don't recommend it. If you have the money, use your money. But if you have absolutely no money and have great credit and you want to get into investing, it's another opportunity. You know, there's so many ways. I mean, I could go on with a dozen different ways of investing.
That's
in
awesome.
real estate.
Yeah. Well, maybe if anyone has questions for you, let's you guys can send them in, because Gloria is a wealth of knowledge and she is a real estate investing expert, and she's on her way to becoming a Airbnb host expert. So
I do have all 5 stars.
Thank goodness.
We've had 14 ratings, all 5 stars.
Good
Super. Job. We should be super host by now. We've been live for 2 months, so not bad at all.
All right, well, let's go to our beauty review.
I'm so excited.
This is, you know, we want to talk about like our beauty hacks, and Gloria has brought today her beauty hack that she's going to share with us.
I brought the largest beauty hack you guys ever can
The largest one.
And actually, I should do it, but I don't think you'll be able to see it. So essentially, we were talking about how your eyes are so important to the world, right? I think in our first podcast, we said how important it was to look bright, to look awake. And I have very sensitive skin and just very sensitive, a lot of different things. And my eyes are one of those areas that I feel are not at their best, because as soon as I have a cup of coffee or a glass of wine, they just get bloodshot red, just automatically. I don't know why. They get dry and they get itchy. So one of the things that I use every single day, and I'm not even using it today, so you could probably see my eyes are a little bit bloodshot, but I'm going to do it so you can see what it does.
Okay.
So you guys probably can't see it. We'll have a picture on somewhere on here so you guys can see it, but this is called Lumify. You guys have probably seen it, and I swear by this stuff. I'm going to do it so you can see it. It takes 2 minutes for it to work.
While she's doing that, I'll talk about the fact that I can't put eye drops in my eyes, because ever since I was a kid, I feel like that's gonna hurt. And so you can open my eyelid, like, I mean, with all the might, and I'm gonna just fight you, because it's like so crazy. But
it's so crazy. But it feels so good. It feels so
do you wear glasses or contacts?
I do wear glasses, but
so
I don't wear them.
Can you see how many
much.
fingers am I holding up?
Yeah, not that. I'm not blind. But let's hope the viewers are blind though.
Oh my gosh.
So, look at my eyes. Within 30 seconds, your eyes completely brighten and turn. Like you can see it.
They actually seem more sparkly.
They do.
Yeah,
I mean, and they turn white. So this is
Where can people get that if they want it?
You can get it anywhere. You can get it at H-E-B. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it at Walmart. Yeah, it is over the counter. The best place that I found it is at a local wholesale club like Sam's or Costco, because you can get 2 for $30.
Wow.
2 of these will last me 4 months, but I use them every single day. And if I have a hot date with my husband, I'll put them right before a date, because it really does look
happy and bright.
It does make you brighten up your face.
Are these, because like I've also heard of the drops that actually hold your eyes more open.
Oh, that's weird. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you just walk around like...
Yeah, that's crazy. What are you reading?
Seriously, there is. It's like something, maybe I made it up, but I don't think so. I'm going to look into it and we'll circle back.
Yeah, we'll be back with that, because that sounds like weird.
Well, I love your beauty tip. Thank you for sharing that with us today. What about like your go-to beauty routine to help you make professional, or to look professional when you are out showing? Say that you are out and about, maybe you're at an Airbnb and you're cleaning it, and then someone calls, hey, I want to see this property right now. What do you keep in your car that's like, okay, I can look presentable in 5 minutes?
You know, that's a great question, except I'm going to be very honest. You're so popular.
I am very, very unpopular.
It's such a lie. What were we saying?
What is your beauty hacks?
Oh, so
like your
I don't,
outfits that you, or like not outfits, but do you have like, do you keep a brush, curling irons, anything like a ponytail?
I do plan for my day. So even though I look like, on my days that I have to leave my house by 6:30, I plan for my day. So I'll pack up. Sometimes if I know that I'm at the Airbnb, which it's a really bad thing, you shouldn't be cleaning your own Airbnbs. Especially when you're a real estate agent, if you know how much your hourly actually is, you would be overpaying. You know, essentially you're taking away from your real job. But because we're in the starting stages, we are kind of doing that. But I plan for my day. So if I know that I have a meeting, I will do my hair and my makeup. Even if I'm out cleaning, it is unlikely that everything has been messed up. You know, I may just be a little bit more dewy from cleaning and stuff, but I don't actually, I used to do that when I was younger. Now the most that I carry with me may be a setting powder, just to kind of bring back down the shine and stuff that we have in Texas with the humidity and stuff. So I don't actually carry anything with me. I do my makeup before I leave the house. This is really the only thing that I actually take with me everywhere, in case I do need to meet somebody, because my eyes will get bloodshot with coffee or a glass of wine, and it looks really weird.
Yeah. Are my eyes red?
No.
Well, good.
What do you do? Do you take your stuff? I feel like
I used to, like when I've been stationed in a community that's 30 minutes or more away from home.
Did you hear me burp?
No. Because we just ate 5-pound scones with butter. Yeah. She lied and said she was gonna eat the whole scone. So I was like, okay, if she's gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. She watched me eat my whole gigantic scone, and then she didn't finish hers. So that's not nice. Anyways, when I lived far away from work, because sometimes there would be an event after work, or maybe somebody wants to go to happy hour or dinner, and again, I'm like you, like sometimes by the afternoon I'm kind of like greasy looking. So I would bring like my makeup and a brush, but normally I'm just ready for the day, and this is what you get till the evening. And but I think always have with me my lip product, even if it's a chapstick.
I guess that's true. I don't even think about that as freshening up, but yes, that's true. I do. You have to. I do carry a change of clothes. Of course, I can't clean in you know, business clothes, so I usually have some kind of blazer or outfit in my car.
Good. So Gloria, a couple weeks ago when you had just were transitioning still, you know, from Georgetown to Temple to take Gianna back and forth from school, you were struggling with like a new routine. How's that working out for you? And have you found any hacks, mom hacks, Gloria hacks that have helped?
I'm getting up earlier.
The hack is I set my alarm
for 5:30 and I snooze for 15 minutes and then I get up.
Hey, but that's good, you know.
I mean, that
being
essentially
disciplined and consistent.
Yeah, essentially you just have to do whatever it's gonna take. Yes, even planning for carrying an outfit, I've always driven everywhere, but because I'm so far from home, that is actually the hack that am doing more consistently than I have in the past.
Yeah.
Even at times when I don't have a meeting, I just take an outfit because I may show up and my best friend doesn't like my shirt.
Yep, and that has happened, and I was like, do you have something else? And thankfully she did.
No, but really, that's probably the biggest thing. Just like you said, it was a good tip to plan ahead.
Good. And then that kind of falls in line with like time management. It seems like you're like managing your time better by like going maybe to bed earlier and waking up earlier.
Going to bed earlier.
Good for you. Yeah. At what time?
By 10. 10 is early for 10 is very early for us. My husband is a night owl. He is an artist and he is more creative at night. But you know, the rest of us have to get up at 6, so he needs to go to bed as well.
Yeah.
What about you? I would ask you what you're doing. I don't think your schedule has changed much, but summer's coming. So how is that affecting your routine? Are you preparing for the summer?
I think that for me, I am like such a routine person. Like my morning and evening routine has been the same for at least 10 years, at least.
Yeah.
However, yes, with summer about to start and my boys are all home, it does throw me off a little bit because it's like people are sleeping in, then I'm hungry at this time, and I'm normally like on my days off and like on Sunday mornings I make breakfast for everyone. Because the rest of the week they're in a hurry and they're getting their own stuff and heading out the door. But then I feel like summertime, it's more of like, you know, can you make me breakfast, or are you coming home for lunch, or, you know, stuff like that. So it will be an adjustment. It always is. It's like, I feel like the beginning of summer is like fun, and then the first month kind of goes by quick. And then that second month, you're like, how many more weeks till we go back to school?
Exactly. Like, oh, this is so great. Oh, this is so great.
Yeah, exactly. And then, what about with that? I mean, we're about to have school come to an end. So what do you have going on this summer? You have summer vacation plans, or recommendations for viewers?
We do. But I think we need to move on to the topic because I'm pretty sure the people that came for just the original podcast want to leave now.
Okay.
So, so
we're done with
we're pretty much done. Mom wins, mom fails. I have a mom win.
Okay.
This is actually from my bonus and gave me a flower from the garden.
I saw that. That was so sweet.
Weekend.
So sweet.
And also a mom fail at the same time. So he was so excited, and he came in and he had the flower already put in a water bottle, and it was so sweet. My youngest one is 12, so she's way past that. And I think boys mature a little slower.
Yeah.
So he's still, a little bit younger mentality than she is, and he's 11. So he brings me this super pretty thistle, and I was so excited, and he was so excited to share it. But I was working, and now I was sitting down, and I was, I greeted him, and I graciously accepted. But I didn't even get up and give him a hug or anything, So I was like, I feel like it was super mean. Well, it looked mean because my husband showed me the video later, and I was like, wow.
Oh, that's terrible. But like, geez, at least you acknowledge it.
No, it was super gracious, but we're still in the relationship building aspect. Mm-hmm. So all those moments kind of mean a lot, and letting them go that way seems kind of like a mom fail at the same time.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We just don't have that many opportunities like I do, like I've had with my older girls or with with Gianna. Mm-hmm. Gianna and I ride in the car for 2 hours a day. Mm-hmm. So. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm like, let's see, have I had any failures this week? Wins or failures? I think that wins, my boys have been so sweet, and like, I have like a big list of things that I want done around the house, especially when our family comes for my oldest son's graduation. Right. So I was like, I'm gonna hire my friend's husband, he's gonna come, and my middle boy was like, Mom, we can do all that. Just send me the list. Why would you hire somebody?
Really?
Yes. And then
little men. That's so sweet.
And they are. He is so sweet, and he like cleaned out our garage the other day. He started knocking. They're all so sweet, but he started knocking out the list of things, and I just love that, because for a long time I would be like, I'm the only one that does anything around here, and then to see them rise up and volunteer to help and lighten my burden is just, that's very sweet.
Huge mom win. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. And you didn't even have to ask him.
I didn't. I was like, yeah.
I get the dunce hat for failure, and you get the mom. Do you remember the dunce hat? Like, no. I don't think they had that when I was growing up.
I was alive then.
No, I don't. But they used to threaten us with that stuff.
What is it? A loser hat?
Yeah,
like the Burger King hat when you'd get the king.
Well, not the king hat. It was like,
a cone.
The cone head.
Oh my gosh! All right. Well, this is a wrap.
It. Yep.
Smash it, like it, share it, talk about it, ask us questions.
Subscribe.
Please. Yes.
I
don't know what I'm doing or talking about yet. Oh, I'll tell Suri. I'll say, hey Suri, can you do this or that? And she does it, and she'll say, would you like me to send it?
Suri
and I'm like,
care.
yes, please. And then I'm always laughing because I tell her, please.
Maybe she'll spare you from the robot apocalypse.
Oh, yeah. Can you, girl?
Watch out for me.
I hate it when she's like, I'm sorry, I don't understand. And
I'm like, so angry. It's like, you're supposed to be getting smarter, Siri.
I'll be like, play Pandora, Siri. And like 4 times we're all like, she can hear my toes.
The worst one for me is, we'll be driving somewhere already, and I'll say, Siri, find me a gas station, en route, northbound. And it's like, yeah. You got this. You're on this by yourself.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, I'm having a problem understanding you. It makes me so angry, and it does that all the time.
All right. Well, anyways, so on to our topic.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
If you're not staying.
Yeah, and if you are staying, it's gonna be fun. We're talking about summer fun plans.
Summer fun. Mm-hmm. Not like summer fun, the water park. That's not super fun.
It isn't.
I mean, it's okay. It's $15 to get in. So if you're looking for a water park, it's in Belton. It's $15. Has the lazy river. Mm-hmm. My mom flipped over in it.
Oh no!
It was hilarious. It's the funniest thing I saw the entire summer.
I'm sure. Me and my friend were dying laughing yesterday about public pools and water parks, and I was like, it never fails when I go to those. It's like they're like the lifeguards shutting down the biggest pool area because someone used the restroom in the wave pool or the lazy. It's like, how does that happen?
Yeah.
And so it did happen to you once. Can you?
I'm sure it's happened multiple times, and no one rang. They probably just scooped it. Didn't tell anybody.
Oh my gosh, but seriously, that is hilarious.
It happens every year.
Every year. You're like, when I go to those two, I'm like, don't look around, don't look up, just don't, keep your lips very tight when you're in the water. Don't and drink any of the water. It is not clean.
No.
Okay.
So as I've gotten older, I appreciate the beach more, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would take sand over mosquitoes any day. I'm not a lake person. I don't want to go in the river. There's, you
I
know.
thought you did. I thought we like to paddleboard.
I like to
and stuff,
paddleboard.
but you don't want to go
I don't want to
camping
get
at the lake or
I don't want to
whatever.
get in. Like I don't. Ideally, I'd rather not sit in seaweed. You know,
Yeah.
but paddleboarding, that's super fun. Did they tell you about 2 paddleboards?
No.
Yeah,
One
we
for
can
me
go.
and one for you. Oh, I'm so grateful because I love that.
So fun. I convinced Josh that we would use them like 5 times to pay for themselves in 1 year. We used them twice.
You better get to the 5. You better this year get to 7. That way you're like, see, we caught up.
And then I thought quickly about taking them to the ocean, but then I remember what happened in Lake Belton.
I was gonna say yes. Gloria and I thought it would be fun to
It
go
was fun.
paddleboarding, and it was really windy, and it was like an ocean that day. I mean, I could have been dramatic, but I was in the sea of Lake Belton crying and praying. I was literally like, Lord, please stop the waves. I know you can stop the waves. And my youngest son was on my board,
so
and
miserable.
my best friend Gloria came and saved us. She was like, got Kipton on hers. Then her poor bag with all her goodies was about to sink. I had to grab it.
Yeah,
Remember
but
that?
it did fall. Yeah, you did save my
I
bag.
thought I was gonna die.
It
out
was
there. I was like,
equally
this
saving.
is
I
it.
saved your son. You saved my bag.
It was, but and I like it was like I kept
was
rowing
really
and
hard,
rowing
yeah.
and rowing, and like I wasn't moving. I was going further and further away from where I needed to go, and I was panicking.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. Once you get caught in that wind and it pulls you back, you do panic. Like at that point, it was almost worth just going on. If it wasn't so far and divided by a bridge, it would have been okay to go to the other side. But so if you like paddleboarding, I would recommend Austin, Lady
Yes.
Bird Lake, not Belton Lake for paddleboarding. It's super fun. I like doing that. And you have the Austin skyline, and it's really kid friendly. It's not deep at all. When there is more water, it's actually more fun. But it's really, I mean, you can go to one of those places. They'll let you borrow the life jackets, even if you have your own paddleboard. They'll let you borrow the life jackets for free.
Oh wow!
That was really impressed by that.
I
think
like
it's
going
the
there,
Texas paddleboards is I think what it's called.
I like going. Last year we went and we did kayaking, and I did a pedal kayak, and that was really fun. It's like a workout, but then it got to be so hard, and I was literally like, and my kids are behind me dying laughing because I pulled my propeller up, so it was manually, and I was sweating, and I was like, this is,
Your kids are
and
evil.
they were dying, and they were like, it's easy, Mom, you just, and I'm like, I don't even know what that is, can you just, and then they did it, and I was like, oh my gosh, because then it was like so easy. Then they did it again, and I was so upset, and ever since, the back of my hamstring,
my hips.
I think got like
You're
overdone, and every time it aches, I'm like, it's because I was trying with all my might that time in the
it's your kids' fault.
and they were
When you get
literally
arthritis
like,
and you're 80, you're gonna be like, this is because of that one time.
Exactly.
Paddleboarding.
Exactly.
One of the places that I recommend to go to, other than the Lady Bird, which randomly came up, great place. But if you're looking for a little bit of a longer stay, I think we kind of talked about it a little bit. And do you want to tell them?
No, you. It's. I mean, she stole my thunder, so she may as well keep it.
I will. South Padre is a really, really great place to go to. It has one of the cleanest beaches in Texas. And it's still very affordable compared to a lot of the places, especially if you're going to have to fly or drive to Florida. It may not be the same type of beach. It's still a very good and clean beach. You have to go, the island itself is very long, but it's not really all accessible. So there are particular beaches that are better than others, but do some research. Isla Blanca is the one where it's on the right side as you go into the island, and it's the cleanest one. You do have to pay to get in, but honestly, the $10 is totally worth it. So you're not digging through trash or stuff.
Well, and I think in Padre the food is good too. We've been there twice since living here, and going out to eat a lot. They have really great restaurants out there.
They have a lot of restaurants for sure. I don't know about the food. I've never been a big fan of the food.
I do. So you have to go for yourselves.
Yeah, I love the view. So, and I tell people all the time, you know, some places are good for food. Some places are really for the atmosphere. And we obviously have different tastes.
Yeah. Well, I know,
Maybe I'm
because there
going
was
to the
a
wrong
really
places.
delicious Italian food restaurant that we ate at, and I don't know the names,
but
it was delicious. And then
we're not getting paid, so we're not giving
there
names.
there was actually, like, I mean, I liked everything, so.
Yeah.
But we did a lot of cooking because we did like a VRBO or whatever, Airbnb. And so we did a lot of our own cooking and ate out a couple times. So it's not like we were eating out for all the meals, but the few things that we did eat out was really good.
I think I don't know that I have the best view on restaurants. I'm pretty picky.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay.
So that's a kid-friendly place. Where's somewhere that you could go if you had friends or family, like adults that would want to go? Like, where would you recommend?
Well, so we were talking about Fredericksburg, and I actually have never been there, but it's on my like list. I've been dying to go there. I do like wine, and I've heard they have tons of like vineyards, and it's super cute. And
You've never been to Fredericksburg?
No.
Marissa, you're still missing out. Fredericksburg is one of my favorite places.
Everyone talks about how
my mother-in-law loves it. Every time she comes, she stops there for a day, and then she comes here, and then, well, her and my father-in-law, they stop and stay, and then they come, and then whenever they leave, they stop again and they stay, and they go back.
Sorry.
Are you trying to get paid by Ozarka?
Ozarka water. I still drink Sport Cap, plastic, Ozarka water.
I was gonna say, my
Ozarka, I am for hire. I am trying to retire and take a vacation.
Maybe you can go to Fredericksburg.
And they'll have some Ozarka water in Fredericksburg. I'm not a big Stanley Cup gal. Like, I don't want like a big, it weighs as much as my arm, and I'm like,
Marissa, you look like the perfect Stanley Cup owner.
Girl.
You're like imperfect.
No, I'm just like, bring me back to the old school. I just want my Ozark sport cap.
Okay then.
But yeah, I want to go to Fredericksburg sometime. I'm gonna go there.
You should. I love it. It's one of my favorite places. It's only 2 hours from here.
Nice.
And there's so many Airbnbs, and it's the peach capital of America. Just kidding. It's the peach capital of Texas.
Wow. I was like, I hadn't heard that, but okay.
Their peaches aren't very big, but they're delicious.
They're little nectarines, apricots. Oh my god.
Anyway, Fredericksburg, South Padre. Wimberley's nice, but
I love Wimberley.
Have you been there?
Yes.
You can't opinionate. You've never been there.
I have, and I love it. We stayed at this cute cabin, and that place is called Cabins on the Square. Oh, so cute. Backed right up to like a river. And good restaurants there, to be honest.
There are some good restaurants.
I love Wimberley, and it's so pretty. So that is a great. Thank you for reminding me. I forget. I have short-term memory loss. That perio, you know.
Exactly. Well, anyways. I think that's all I have.
Yeah.
there's so many places in Texas, guys. If you like big cities, Houston is, I mean, it's next to the beach. You have the NASA Space Center. We've been there and that was really cool. The kids really love being able to interact with some of the stuff that they have there. The one in Florida, you can't really interact. It's, well, it's not that you can't. This one's just a little bit more hands-on. Then you have, of course, Galveston. Galveston's not my favorite beach. It's pretty brown.
I've only been there when we left for a cruise. So
Yeah,
like
and that's
we
why
didn't
they
even,
say-
I don't know anything about it.
I wouldn't recommend Galveston for a swimming vacation. Port Aransas, it's a great fishing destination. I mean, that's what people do. When you go to Port A, you go fishing. There's fishing tours. You go dolphin sightseeing, all that kind of stuff. But if your family likes fishing, that's a great place to go. I mean, there's so many different places. And then obviously Dallas is shopping. If you like shopping, Dallas is a major hub for really exclusive high-end places. There's some museums. My girls love museums, so we did that all the time. My younger ones don't care for museums as much. You know, they're bored all the time, so they're more, it's almost like we're having to keep their attention. Their attentions just become shorter over time. So a lot of different places. I'll add some links from our from my YouTube channel from different places that we have been to or recommend. So you guys can take a look at, we could spend here for a long time and go over stuff. But I think we're out of time and we're just grateful that you're here. And hopefully you guys find some cool places to go to. If there's some place that we didn't mention and that you guys love.
Yeah, definitely. Please share it with us because I still have a lot of exploring to do here.
Yeah,
don't.
I wouldn't expect Marisa to go. She's been here for 7 years, but maybe you guys give her the perfect place.
Please.
Yeah,
Please
I
do.
can't believe you were like, Fredericksburg is so cool.
I wanted to go there forever, but I've never ever been.